and welcome back to Cult of the Lamb. We have been talking about some social psychological principles that we see in the Cult of the Lamb and in cults in general. And actually, what I want to do today is to talk about a specific cult that that tells us a lot about what we know about cults in general, right? And so we're going to go into our discussion of that cult, and that it's so great. Social psychologists get to have the most fun. This is an instance where some social psychologists actually infiltrated a cult as part of their research. So first of all, that was just showing me that I could go visit them. So we are going to do some gameplay things first. We're going to go visit. We had just unlocked the ability to bless our followers. So I'm going to give some of them blessings. It's like, hello, I love you. You are a wonderful follower. Hey, stop pooping on things. Clean that up. Got to go around on poop duty. Find where they put it all. And they tend to, so the followers actually often have a poopin' corner. A place where that's just where they go. So if you check it out, this is their pooping corner apparently. So this is where I'm going to put the toilets once I can make toilets. Hello, I'll talk to you now. The quote is growing day by day. It is time you gave it a name. Oh no, I didn't decide on what the name is going to be. So I am just going to call it, let's see if I can fit Doomsday Cult. There we go. Because that is what we're going to be talking about today. We are going to be talking about when a group of social psychologists led by Festinger, Riken, and Schachter, where they infiltrated a doomsday cult. So that is what I am going to call my cult so that we can talk a little bit more about the Dr. and Mrs. Keech who led the doomsday cult. It does have a nice ring to it. I love it. Yes, I made you happy. Can I bless you? Oh, and when they explode in hearts like that, that is when you get the extra inspiration and when you get the stone fragment, which I want more of. So first, let's offer a blessing. And I've already blessed the other one. One of the quality of life changes that they made with, I don't know if it was the most recent update. Oh, I have a divine inspiration. Yes, farming bundle. This lets me make a farmer station so my followers will water crops. Oh, wait a minute. I jumped the gun here. Oh, no, I 3 out of 4. I can do this one. I love this. I like it when food somewhat automates itself. And so that's definitely going to be a priority for me. And now I will go ahead and receive all of that sweet, sweet devotion and very quickly prioritize making a farmer's bundle. I need money. So I am going to go and do some things that allow me to get money. But first I need to feed my cultists. Have some food. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't remember how many cultists I have. But I am going to have to go back out soon and get food. And see, that's the part, right, that I can't continue doing the things I want you to do because y'all have needs. How dare you? How dare you have needs? Let's add the fertilizer I have. You might as well. I've got pockets full of poop. So let me give that to you. You're dropping some resources. Not enough coins to... Did I already bless all of you? I don't know if I blessed the 2 of... Oh, sorry. I just remembered that you get cranky when I interrupt you. Whoops. I'm so sorry. I'm a jerk. Can I bless you too? I am so sorry. Please forgive me for being a jerk. All right. Now, we've just opened this up. So we're going to go see our mentor. So the thing is that in cults in real life, you tend to have someone who's in charge. They don't form organically with no one in charge and no one leading this ship. And so I am going to go and I am going to collect all the things that I already know where they are. And I am going to talk to the person who's in charge of me. But first, I'm going to steal all his food because my followers need food and they are constantly demanding things. And so I want to make sure that I have what they need. And I also am going to, hey, Rakow, I must thank you. By relieving me of my duties, you have granted me what I desire most, peace. Now that I have taught you everything you need to know, I can pass my days playing Knucklebones. I have friends on their way to join me for a game or two as we speak. A rowdy bunch to be sure, but now I am retired. I am free to enjoy myself. Yeah, and I'm going to steal all of your worship then. Um, so I love games that have mini games within them. So I am going to play me some Knucklebones. You have discovered my humble cottage. Be careful I don't make you the same. Be careful you don't make the same mistake I did, or you will end up in a place just like this. Now, perhaps a game of Knucklebones. You don't know it? Why, it's simple. Step up to the table and I will show you. I'm not sure I want to play Knucklebones right now, but I am going to steal your stuff. Actually, you know what? A single game of Knucklebones with low difficulty sounds like a good idea. Now, I already know how to play Knucklebones, but I'm just going to show folks for the purposes of those at home. So you have to match dice, and when you do, they get multipliers for their score. You can also destroy opponent's dice by putting things in the column associated with their dice. And that's pretty much it. So you're trying to get the highest score while rolling dice at random. And so Mattel rolls a 1. Now I have a 1. Now if I wanted to, I could put that in the column that he put his 1 in and destroy his 1. And that's it. That's the nature of the game. So I am going to, and then the other part of the game is that when you get matching dice, you can put them both in the same column, and when you do so, you get a bonus. So see, that's not 10 anymore, that's 20. And so now I've got that bonus from matching. And so what you want to do is you want to maximize that while at the same time, your opponent can create a situation where, or you can create a situation where your opponent can very easily take away a large amount of your points. And you don't really want to have that happen. So for example, he's got 24 points here. If I put this 4 here, I'm going to get some points, right? But now I can't get rid of his set of 6s. And now I'm in trouble. I wanted to show it as an example, but of course I created an issue for myself. So now I'm unable to take away the points that he has. And so I'm SOL a little bit. Rattel wins. But I wanted to demonstrate the point. I think the first time you beat Rattel, haha, no one can beat the great Rattel at Knucklebones. Care to play again? No, not right now. I can't imagine. Actually, no. I need to redeem myself and show that I can play Knucklebones if I'm not giving a demonstration. And watch, I'm gonna lose this time too. The opponent always rolls first, and the person who wins, if you have a tie, the person who closes out their board first is the one who ends up winning the game or being considered the winner. And so, let's now talk about some of the fun that social psychologists get to have, because I'm a little bit jealous of the fun that social psychologists get to have, because they get to do things like, for example, one of the ways that we know as much as we do about persuasion is that social psychologists have gone in and they infiltrated, in that case, they infiltrated used car dealerships, which gave us the information that we know about persuasion. One of the ways that we know what we know about, one of the ways that we know what we know about cults, therefore, is that they infiltrated a cult, and that we found out about the cult as a result, that we were to get the information. And so the cult that they infiltrated was a Doomsday Cult that was telling people that, now they were telling people that there were spiritual beings from other planets, and that those spiritual beings were going to come and collect the people from Earth, right? This is a very common cult theme, where we know something that other people don't, and as a result of that knowledge, we are going to end up being saved when other individuals are not. And see, look, I am capable of winning this game, okay? I just had to take my honor and earn my prize. By the one below, you are natural. Earn your prize. And the benefit of earning this prize, right, is that now this tarot card can show up. And notice it's a elevated, it's the Hearts 2, so the Hearts 1 could show up. This is an elevated version of that card. And so I wanted that there not just for my pride, although there was a little bit of that, but also because that card will benefit me on my runs. No, I don't want to wager some coins, though. Gambling is not in the cards for today. But what I am going to do is I'm going to finish up the quest that Ratel gave me, which was to go give presents. Remember, the giving of presents activates that norm of reciprocity, and they even explicitly say it, right? They will love you more if you give them presents. And the present doesn't have to be related to the cult at all for them to love you more. Just like the giving of soda, it didn't have to be related to the request for somebody to buy a raffle ticket in order for people to be, stop it. Okay, this is the problem. I've created a few problems with this custom scheme that are just I just kind of have to deal with. Hey, oh, the bird took my stuff that I just kind of have to deal with. And one of them is that my dash also activates the shrine, so I can't dash away from the shrine. But I am used to dashing away from everything, so it's going to take a little bit of time for me to, did I get hit by lightning? For me to not do that. Hey, while you're all here, wait, don't leave. Everybody come get their blessings. And I got 3 of them. That is a quality of life thing. You used to have to go around and find everyone and bless everyone individually. And they added this update, which is this awesome quality of life update. And you, hold on, you're the one that I like. Yeah, so I'm going to give you a present. Here you go. Have presents. I love you. And that is somewhat cult related. Yeah, that's right. I'm awesome. Okay, so now I finished that. Everybody's happy. Gotta go find where they poop. In the poop corner. Fantastic. That's right. That's where that belongs. Leave everybody a little bit of food. And be on our way. Nobody has anything they want to say to me? Nope, and your beds are all good. So yeah, let's go back into the dungeon and talk about the doctor and Mrs. Keech. So the doctor kind of ran the day-to-day operations of this cult, right? And Mrs. Keech received messages from spiritual beings who were called the Guardians. And the Guardians would send her messages through a process of automatic writing. Basically, she would, the way that this is supposed to work is that she would sort of sit and meditate on things for a little bit, and then after doing so, her hand would start writing all by itself, much the same way, right, that Ouija boards are supposed to give messages all by themselves, except, of course, the idea behind a Ouija board is that a ghost is sending the message, and the idea behind automatic writing is that some other being is sending the message. Or some people use automatic writing and say that their message is from your subconscious. So regardless of where the automatic writing is supposed to come from, the idea is that, that the person is not, okay, I'm doing really poorly. That the person is not intentionally doing writing, but rather the writing is coming through them. Oh, good. It forgives me. Again, the one who waits is merciful, even on hardest difficulty. So Mrs. Keech would get these messages from the Guardian through automatic writing. And these messages said that there was a date, and I don't remember the exact date. I don't even know if I have it written down in my notes, but that there was a date on which the Guardians were going to come and they were going to destroy the Earth. But the members of the cult, because of their devotion, if they were properly devoted, that they would be saved, right? And there were certain things that they had to do. And sure enough, one of the things they had to do was give all of their worldly possessions to the leaders of the cult and donate them to the cult, because they had to show, right, that they didn't care about worldly possessions. Let's pick apart the part. Now, the teachings of this cult were very closely linked to Christian thought. Not surprisingly, right? Because Mrs. Keech is making this stuff up on the fly, as we'll see in a little bit. There were no guardians. Mrs. Keech is making this stuff up on the fly, and so she's making things up using what she already knows stuff about, and what she already knows something about are the Christian writings of the time. And so it's not surprising that what makes a person a good person really matches those writings, and really matches what people already think makes a person a good person. But there were also some elements that weren't just being a good person, right, but that were preparing for this doomsday. I thought that my sword was supposed to be poisoning people. Oh well. That were in preparation for this doomsday. For example, first of all, they weren't allowed to tell anybody about the doomsday. They weren't allowed to go around and tell people why they were doing the things that they were doing. They were an exclusive cult. Now, you may ask yourself then, well, how did they get new members? And that was all through the Dr. and Mrs. Keech. Dr. and Mrs. Keech got to decide who got to be a new member and who didn't get to be a new member, and would recruit people in that way. And some of Mrs. Keech's automatic writing would also tell them who would be a good person to. I already have a weapon that's supposed to be poisoning things. I'm not adding poison on top of that. Let's get another benefit. Who would be a good willing participant? Really, how they decided who would be a good participant would be those who they felt would be susceptible to their teaching. All right, let's see what we got here. Yay! I can attack faster slightly, very slightly. And so what they predicted was that there was going to be a flood of the Western Hemisphere. Again, that should sound familiar. I don't remember what this does. I want another follower, but my curiosity also tells me I want to remember what this thing does. I'm gonna follow curiosity. I'm gonna get some rock and then go through that. I can't help myself. I missed the bird. Wasn't stealthy enough. I wasn't even trying. So they predicted that there was going to be a flood of the Western Hemisphere, that everybody was going to die except for the members of this cult, right? Because the spacemen, right, the Guardians would come and take them away. And as the day approached, they started making preparations. And so not only did they give a lot of money to the leaders of the cult, but then they started just giving away all of their worldly possessions, because they weren't going to need them, because they were going to be taken away by these spacemen and saved from the flood that was going to destroy the rest of the world, right? They also had to do things like practice secret passwords that were going to let them into the spaceships, and that were going to allow them to be saved. That were going to allow them to be saved. They also had to do things like take all of the metal off of their clothing, because that would prevent them from being beamed up to the spaceship. And so they're engaging in all of these behaviors that commit them to the belief that these Guardians are going to come and the Guardians are going to take them away, right? So that's going to be important, that they're engaging in behaviors that commit them to a given belief. It's the belief behind this cult, that the Guardians are going to come and take them away. Oh, how do I have so many dark hearts? Where did they come from? Y'all see me get those dark hearts? Like, I have no idea where they came from. Have they been coming? I don't know. I am grateful for the dark hearts. Praise to the one who waits below. 10% chance of feeling a crit, and a feather necklace, which is a gift that you can give to your follower that persists. And as you saw, has a special benefit. You got to be careful who you give that to. You got to make those choices wisely. And I'm going to go down first because I want another card. Yes. Give me more fervor so that I can more readily use that without worrying. Because the crown ability that I have right now makes me invincible for a short period of time, and I keep forgetting to use it. Again, I have no idea where these dark cards are coming from. All right, maybe I don't have a Bane weapon. And I'm just thinking I do. Oh no, that guy was poisoned. I must have a Bane weapon. I'm getting so many cards. I love this. This is fantastic. Oh look, I got the deals poison card. Now this is a guaranteed dealing of poison. So yeah, so now we have individuals who are getting close to the day. They're engaging in these behaviors that are solidifying their belief. So it creates a situation where their commitment to this belief is very high. Oh no. Violent eruption of tentacles or a flaming shot. Choose a piercing bolt of fire, hold and release. I actually still want, even though it's a level 1, I still want the Divine Blast. That one is good to me, and so now I'm going to recycle that. You can sort of switch back and you select the one, but then you can be like, nope, I don't want to do that. So now let's see what this is. This is a place to pray. Okay, I will pray. Worship at the crown. Your possessions will follow you through death. Oh, awesome! Thank you. That's nice, because I may very well die trying to do this. Although I have so many diseased hearts, I love it. Let's get as many of the bones as I can, because bones are an important resource. As is, dang it! I wanted that meat. So we get to this point where their commitment is really high. Not only do they have these beliefs, but they've engaged in these behaviors. And when we engage in a behavior that supports a belief, it makes us even more committed to that belief. And it makes us, we don't like to be hypocrites. So when we've engaged in behaviors that are supportive of our beliefs, it makes us even more committed to those beliefs, right? So like when we have moved in with someone, it's even harder to break up with that person because we have publicly committed to that. It's actually one of the thoughts behind why you get married in front of your friends and family. It makes you more committed to the marriage because you have made these promises in front of friends and family. Oh, come on. Hey, La Coalition, how's it going? I am attacking. I love attacking. Oh, man. I have to give up. I either give up. Okay, I either get the Tundra. Hey, oh my gosh! I think this is my first ever raid. Hello, everybody. We are playing Cult of the Lamb, and I am talking about. I'm actually talking about an actual cult, an actual Doomsday Cult. So, yeah, welcome. I'm gonna keep my. Oops. I am going to keep my poison because I like it. Take all of the rice. What rice? Was I talking about weddings? All right. Well, have fun going and doing your work. And yes, an actual cult. So social psychologists get to have all the fun, and they infiltrated a doomsday cult. And a lot of what we know about cults and cultists, and also about group behaviors and group influence, comes from our knowledge about this. Oh, okay. Stealing rice from raids. Got it. I've missed that entirely. I don't get raids. I've never had the Coalition raid me before. So welcome aboard. But yeah, an actual Doomsday Cult run by the Dr. and Mrs. Keech. So I can sort of go through it again for those of you who are in the raid and decide to stick around. First, we're going to select a card from Cult of the Lamb. I am going to... I want to negate damage because I put myself on hardest difficulty as a challenge to myself, and because people tend to laugh at me when I lose, and I'm okay with that. And then I've been doing actually decently well, but not well enough. My cultists are really mad at me for losing all the time. Wait, did I miss a room? I think I missed a room. I did miss a room. Oh man, almost didn't go. Oh, you know what? I already have some diseased hearts. Let's do it. Let's sacrifice some health. Single red heart was sacrificed, and I got in return weapon damage. All right. Now diseased hearts, do me proud. So yeah, so to catch folks up who just raided, first of all, thank you. Thank you for your raid. I'm excited to see you. And to catch you up, so I'm talking about an actual Doomsday Cult that was back in, oh gosh, this was back in the 1950s. Oh no, I've already drawn. And it was published in a book called When Prophecy Fails by Festinger, Reichen, and Schachter. So that's what I'm talking about, is the work that they did and what they learned when they... Okay, I forgot which one I had. when they infiltrated this Doomsday Cult. And the cult's beliefs kind of roughly mirrored Christian beliefs. They believed that a flood was coming and that was going to flood the entire northern hemisphere, and that the Guardians were going to save them. So they got all of this information from the Guardians through Mrs. Keech, and Mrs. Keech was getting this information through a process of automatic writing. And so the Guardians were going to come and save them, but they had to, it was a sort of a small group of people, and they were all sort of elitist in that way. They were the ones who knew stuff, and nobody else knew anything. And so as the date approached that the flood was supposed to happen, they started engaging in a bunch of behaviors that committed them to the cult, and that resulted in them sort of raising the stakes for themselves in terms of how committed they were. They gave away a bunch of their worldly belongings. They gave a lot of their money and worldly belongings to the cult leading up until this point, but they gave away all of their worldly belongings, and they started taking all the metal off of their clothes because that was a requirement for being sucked up by the aliens and being able to be saved from this flood. And give me just a sec, that's sort of caught you up in terms of what was going on with this cult. And so now what I'm going to do is I will accept this cultist and do this plotty stuff for a second, and then we'll talk about what happened and the psychological principle that's going to be at play here. Blueprint, some more food, and stones. How am I doing on my food supplies? Not great. Let's get some food. I'm not very good at decorating my cult anyway. I'm one of those who plays Animal Crossing for the mechanics less than decorating things. I was very weird in that regard. But I think I have a plot point that I have to do after this point. Yeah, destroyed you. And it only took me 12 minutes to do so. What do you want from me, man? I did good. Do not make the mistake of becoming the servant to your followers. They are for you to use to your advantage. Their face is a resource. Spend it as you would gold, for you can always regain their trust with a well-placed gesture of kindness. Let it empower you. Let it give you license to do unspeakable things. Bend them to your will. And that actually relates to something I was previously talking about when it comes to the norm of reciprocity, right? Yeah, get them to do stuff for you. Don't worry, you can always make them happy again by doing things for them. And all of that is to say, look at that creepy smile. I love his smile. All of that is to say, I grant you the power to read the minds, their feeble little minds. So now I get the command to read their minds, which I don't really use all of that often, other than to remind myself which follower I should be focusing on leveling up and which one I shouldn't. You have declared a new doctrine, which has granted you a new follower action. When interacting with followers, this action will be available to you. Thank you. Thank you, one who waits below. All right, do I have plot-like things to do right now? And I named my cult the Doomsday Cult after the cult that was discussed in When Prophecy Fails. Yes, I know my followers are starving. I even brought back food. I brought back food for everybody so that they don't starve anymore. There we go. And once they are awake, they will come and eat their food. So as the day approaches, I don't think there's any plot things for me to do, so I'm just going to manage my cult. As the day approaches, it becomes clear right first that what are we doing? I woke them all up, but no, now they're going to be mad. No, don't wake them all up. Yes, what would you like? Future, what would you like? If I was truly awake, please. Oh, see, now they're like, if you were really a good leader, wouldn't you use some of those decorations? Yeah, fine, I'll make things look pretty. What sort of prettyful things do I want to put down? Let's make some, I don't know. I don't make things prettyful. Let's make some flowers. There we go. Place some pretty flowers. How many was I supposed to build? 3. Okay, I need one more decoration. Oh, I know. Let's put a wheelbarrow over by where the farm's gonna be. There we go. We'll make everything pretty, don't worry. So they've made all of these changes, but they're not spreading the word, right? Remember, this is a secret cult. Only the Doctor and Mrs. Keech are allowed to bring people into this cult. And for those of you who just came on the raid, hey, this is a secret cult, and only the Doctor and Mrs. Keech are allowed to select the people who they considered gullible enough to give them all their money and to bring into the cult. So everybody is keeping it secret. They are told that they need to keep it secret, that this is not a cult that they are going to share with others. And this alienates their friends, right? They're quitting jobs as well. They're doing all of these things that they can't take back. And then the day that the flood is supposed to show up and that the Guardians are supposed to take them comes and passes. If you remember, there was no flood in the 1950s. There wasn't a group of people who got sucked up by aliens. That just wasn't. It just didn't happen, right? And so now they have this dilemma. They've engaged in all of these behaviors and had all of these beliefs that surround this idea that these aliens are going to come and that they're going to be saved. Hey, what up? Yes, I will clean up. If you guys would stop pooping on the floor, it would be great. And now they sort of start getting to this point where it's like, but nothing happened. And now what? And this creates a sort of mental state known as cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance happens when you have two beliefs that are incompatible with each other. And that maybe doesn't sound quite like what this is, because one of the things is a set of behaviors. But that set of behaviors can be, I did a thing. All right, this guy is one of the people. You get to stay looking just as you are. Oh, come on, lose 10 faith just as you show up? Oh, but you're gullible. I'm sorry, you're a gullible skeptic? I feel like these two things shouldn't be able to go. Like, I'm trying to think of how that would work. I can't think of a roleplay reason why this would happen. Okay, well, you can join us anyway. Everybody else gets to be monkeys, but the ones that I steal from other gods, those ones get to keep their form. Why did everybody just? Oh, everybody just got sad because that person joined. That's right. So yeah, everybody else. Come on, complete quest. Everybody else gets to be monkeys. Yeah, I know there's poop. I'm fixing it. I'm fixing the poop, I promise. So yeah, so within like the first hour, maybe couple of hours following when all of this happened, and when the time and date came and passed, they were like, okay, well maybe the aliens keep slightly different time than us. They kind of just sat around doing nothing. But then you start to see signs of despair. You start to see signs of shock, and you start to see people thinking to themselves, maybe, just maybe, there isn't a saucer and there isn't any sort of boarding. And despite the fact that we all practice boarding, we know what we're supposed to be doing. Maybe this is because the Dr. and Mrs. Keech lied to us. And then suddenly, at 4:30 in the morning, they were supposed to be picked up at midnight. At 4:30 in the morning, Mrs. Keech gets another message, miraculously. Mrs. Keech gets this message that says, hey, you know what? The reason that there was no saucer, the reason that there was no pickup is that y'all were so devoted and so good and did what we asked you to do so well that you saved the entire world. Good job, you. Now go tell everybody how great you are. Go tell everybody the wonderful thing that you have done for them. All right, we need to select a crown abilities. If anybody's still here, I'm going to let you kind of select what you would like to do. So we can preach about the value of earthly goods, about sustenance and food, about the afterlife, about work and worship, or about law and order. And so while I do my sermon, I'm going to let folks see if they want to chime in on which of those are. Oh, no, I can't. Apparently, I can't go back and do a sermon at this point. Oh, shoot. Okay, then. Well, I don't actually know who's still here and who isn't here. So I think that I'm going to wait just a second on the delay and talk a minute about what happened next. So they were told to turn around and publicize. They were told to go out and preach. Hey, Noamai, how's it going? Noamai, quick, which of these doctrines do you want me to take? Work and worship, law and order, possessions, sustenance, or afterlife? You get to pick. Just Noamai is going to go and pick. And how's it going? That's the other thing. You get to tell me how you're doing. It took me, what, a year and a half to get back to streaming? Oh my gosh, it's been a time. All right, and Noamai says we're going to do sustenance, so that's where we're going. You know what? They do too. So we have two choices. We can either have ritual feasting or we can have ritual fasting. I actually have a gameplay preference for ritual fasting. So I'm going to do that just because it's going to make my life easier to try to talk and stream at the same time. Because sometimes I'm just going to need to... Oh no, Candlelens. I'm sorry. Afterlife will be the next one I do at this point. So I'm very close to getting another doctrine because I've been doing a lot of blessings. And so my next doctrine will be afterlife. But this ritual fast is going to, it's going to allow me to be a better job as a streamer. And I've already kind of made my job harder as a streamer by setting myself on hardest difficulty. And so I like to go in and just make it go away. I really wish, watch, do you see the book shaking like that? I really wish I could not find anything in my settings to get the book to not shake. They're really great with the accessibility settings in this game. So I was surprised that I could not get rid of shaky book. Yes, much stronger weapons. Is this the poop eating game? Yes, this is the poop eating game. Nobody has requested to eat poop just yet, but notice I said yet. And it is really great to be back. I have so very much missed hanging out with y'all and talking about Psych, and I have wanted to play this game pretty much since it came out. I got this game very shortly after it came out on the Nintendo Switch. I couldn't stream it on the Switch because I don't have a setup for that. And so then, how many worshippers do we have? And so then I had to wait until I could get it on Steam. I finally got it on Steam, only to find out that it had a glitch while on Steam. And that glitch created a situation where things were shaky on the screen. And you guys, the folks I'm talking to right now know this, but just in case somebody doesn't, I get vertigo. I can't handle shaky screen. And so I was unable to play on my computer because it was shaky screen. And then not only that, the controls were different than the controls you found on the Switch, which also created a problem in terms of my muscle memory. And so, wait, it says shut in? One of the cool things about streaming with y'all is that it has made me a much better lecturer. So I'm very excited because I teach on Zoom for much of the time. I teach online now. I do have in-person classes again, but this fall was the last time that happened. And I was able to tell my students on Zoom that they could participate in the chat on Zoom as much as they wanted because y'all gave me practice. And so I had practice interacting with you guys in the chat. at the same time, and it's made me a better teacher because then I can interact with students in the chat, see when they ask questions, and respond. So thank y'all for making me better at my job. Go me. Not playing shut-in again. Thank you for letting me know that as well, because that wasn't I haven't been playing that. I've been streaming now for a little over 2 hours, and I mean, I haven't been playing for a little over 2 hours. For those of you who know me, I always have to do a tech check because I mess everything up. Oh, I'm gonna get a prison. I'm going to put people in prison because I like to. Well, mostly I just like having a prison. So yeah, I have not played. I actually haven't played Shut-In since the time I streamed Shut-In. I ended up just not finding the gameplay loop of it as compelling as I wanted to, and just the types of games that I've been playing lately are not Shut-In style games. I actually went back and started playing a whole bunch of Chrono Trigger, and that's been where my focus has been lately. So, but again, I wanted to stream this game since it came out, and then finally they put in an update that got rid of the screen shake, and put in an update where I could change the controls. Yeah, I think it has been 18 months, or maybe 14. I think the last time I streamed was sort of. Oh wait, encourage the others to develop streamers thing. Oh yeah, you want it fast. I think the last time I streamed was in winter of 21, in just like December of 21. I could be wrong. I can check the dates of what I have up there, but I get the feeling that it was December 21. The last time I streamed, and so I've absolutely run out of YouTube videos. All right. Let's clean everything up. And it's just been a long 18 months. I've had a lot of classes. There's been a lot of stuff going on with my kiddos, and of course, the kiddos are going to get the first part of my attention, right? And there's just been a lot of stuff going on that has required my attention. And then there's just been it's hard to get on with the kids, and so I lucked out today. It's my spring break, and both kids have after school activities, and so my daughter won't be home for another half hour, 45 minutes. My son won't be home for another hour and 15 minutes. So I got a good chunk of time. I'd have more time if it wasn't for the fact that both OBS and my video card needed updating. So yeah, for those of you watching the YouTube video, that's what's going on, and how excited I am to see the folks here in the chat. And feel free to follow me on Twitch if you want to have me be this excited to see you as well. Let's go have our folks fast. So where were we? Oh, we were talking about what happened when all of those cultists realized that their leaders may have lied to them, and that there was no spaceship coming. And so what their leaders did was say, okay, now what we're going to ask you to do, what we want you to do, is go out and tell everyone, right? Suddenly, the Guardians, who had been saying, listen, tell nobody, you are an exclusive group, and nobody gets to know, suddenly they say, go out and tell everyone. And the question that the social psychologists ask themselves, right? Because remember, there's this group of 3 social psychologists who have infiltrated this cult. And the question becomes why, right? Let's think about why this behavior would occur. And they started looking at a concept known as cognitive dissonance. Now, I think this particular video has gone on pretty long at this point. So I am going to do a cut. We're going to hang out with our statue. I am going to do a cut here for the YouTube video. I'm trying to be better in terms of my video length and sizes. I'm not better, but I'm trying to be. So this entire video will be about the cult with the Dr. and Mrs. Keech. And then next time, we will come back and we will talk about cognitive dissonance and what happened that resulted in folks going from saying, no, you can't tell anyone, to, okay, now you need to go tell everyone about this cult and what just happened. I don't think there's anybody here in the chat who isn't a viewer of Orangutan at this point, or hasn't been here. There's some folks who are showing in the chat who have been here all along, but you've probably heard this, that we will be back in just 1 second. I'm not going anywhere on the stream because I have time without the kids, so I am taking advantage of it. And here we go, starting day 8. That's where we're going to stop here. And for those of you on YouTube, I'll see y'all in the next video.